in my studio coding. So what we will do is we can write new query. So new query window will open. Once new query window is open, so we can choose which database we want to query. So these are the databases. As I said earlier, master, model, MSDB, and TempDB. These four are the system databases, whereas here AdventureWorks 2017, MyDB, Study, TestDB1 are the databases created by me. Okay, so you will learn master database contains what data, model database contains what data, MSDB contains what data, and TempDB. For TempDB contains temporary tables. I will choose AdventureWorks database. So it is a free database. You can download it from web. As you can see in the AdventureWorks database, so there are many tables. So currently I will choose this human resources dot department table and right click it, and I will take select top 1000 records from this table. So if I choose select top 1000 rows, so it will select 1000 records from this table. It will automatically generate the query select top 1000 department ID, name, group name, modified date columns from this table. So this is the schema, this is database name, and as you can see here, so total there are 16 records. So even if we have chosen top 1000, but there are only 16 rows in this table. Apart from that, we can also write simply select star from. So what it will give is it will provide you the 16 rows, the 16 records from this table. Okay, so these are many different tables. So select query is to fetch the data from the table. Similar to select, if we want to edit top rows, so SQL Server provides facility to edit top 200 rows. So as you can see here, if it is not a primary key, so, so and not some conditions applied to this ID column, then we can do that here. Okay, so we can easily modify the data of this table. Marketing is there, so I can, instead of marketing, what I can do is I will write marketing and sales. So it will update the data of the fourth number department ID, and I will, after writing it, I will do control S, that is it will save the records, and I will close it. So currently you can see for fourth number the earlier record was marketing, but now if I will fetch the data, so it will show you marketing and sales. So by right clicking edit top 200 rows, we can simply edit the data as well, but this is not a desired way. If you want to edit, so for edit, update statement is the desired scenario. This right click and edit is only for the new beginners. Now if you want to see the properties of any particular table in SQL Server, so what you can do is you can right click on it, you can click on properties, and thereby all the properties of that particular table will be visible. Like you can see primary keys, which primary keys are there, whether there are any identity columns, these kind of things you can see. Permissions are there, storage are there. Then there is one more very important feature. Whatever table you want to see the data, primary key and foreign keys I said earlier to you. just select the table and then click on Alt plus F1 or Alt plus function plus F1. So if you will click on this, then the entire table you will see the name of the table, user table, when it was created, which are the columns of the table, then whether any identity columns of department ID is there, seed increment value. Then if you scroll down, so you can see there are two indexes on this table. One is clustered unique primary key on department ID. Then there are two constraints, default constraint on modified date. So it will have default get date as well as that is primary key clustered. As and it is referenced by foreign key adventureworks 2017 for human resources employee department history FK employee department history department ID. Now I will explain you how to insert data into a table. So I will go right click script table as insert to new query editor window. So this is for beginning. So this is the script generated. What I can do is I can give value to name here. So it should be given in this way. I will give ABC value group name. So it is dbo.name. Group name I will give any value, varchar value, testing. Then modified date is the date time. So what I can give is I can give modified date as get date also. So let us check whether we have done correct. So if it is giving error here, so I want more comma was there. If we insert in this table, so it will show us one row affected. So in this way we have inserted. So this is for insert. There were earlier 16 records in the table. Now there will be 17 records. So the newly inserted will be 17 ABC testing and the get date we have given. So it is the date time. Now we will see how to update the data, but for updating we will not check the script from here. So what we will do is we will write a update script update. So update table name is this one. So remember human resources is the schema here. Set I will do set name as name equals to CEB, where department ID is the primary key. So it will only update the department key with 17 as the value here. So it will only affect the one rows. So if you see select star, so there is instead of ABC CED the new value is there. Okay, so if you update where group name equals to, for example, manufacturing, so it will affect whatever the number of rows under manufacturing, so it will affect those number of rows. So there is manufacturing 1 2, two rows are there for manufacturing, so it will affect both this row and value is will be ASD. So so it is showing duplicate key is not allowed here because there is duplicate name. A okay, duplicate name when we have duplicate specification here, so it will not allow. So as you can see here, so there is a key unique cluster key on department name, so it will not allow the same value ASD in both the records. So that is why we are getting duplicate key row error. Now select star. Now what we will do is we will remove two rows from this table where group name is manufacturing. For that, say delete from human resources dot department table. Don't forget to write where condition. It is very important. Where group name equals to manufacturing. So here it will remove these two rows. Delete is also conflicted here because department ID, so that department ID is referred by this table, so it will not allow us to remove that particular department ID. 7 and 8. So as you can see, there are records in employee department history table where department ID is 7 and 8. So that is why it will not allow us to remove those records from the department table. Using this query, I have checked which department ID is present in department table but not in employee department history table. So it is 17 department ID. So we can remove department ID equals to 17. So one row affected. Now the newly created 70 department ID is not in this table. So in this way you have learned select statement, you have learned update statement, you have learned delete statement, you have learned insert statement. Now we will understand what is primary key and foreign key. Primary key is the key in a table which maintains uniqueness in a column. It will not allow null values. It can be created on a single column or multiple columns. Primary key created on multiple columns is called as composite key. In SQL Server, if we are creating primary key on a column, so by default it will have cluster index created. So in the next topic we will see what is cluster index as well. In this table you can see primary key clustered index is created on department ID column, whereas this primary key is referenced by foreign key human resources.employee department history table. Foreign key is a key on another table which references primary key of any table. Now next topic is cluster index and non-cluster index. So what is cluster index? So as I said, if we are creating primary key on any column, so by default cluster index will be created and non-cluster index manually on any columns. So non-cluster index also we can have composite types. So cluster index does not allow null, whereas non-cluster index can allow null. So cluster index is a physical storage in database. If we are creating cluster index on a column, so that column values will be stored physically, whereas non-cluster index does not store the physical values. It will act as pointers. So it does not represent physical storage, it acts as pointers. We can have 9 entry in non-cluster index per table after SQL 2012 version, whereas we can have only one